What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 29 of the Block Exploring podcast, News Bytes. Here with me is Tommy, as always. And yeah, later this episode, we're going to talk to you about Shiba Inu, the Zuckerberg Metaverse, and NFT community building. Now, as always, take into account that nothing we say is financial advice. And we hope you enjoy this episode. So, Tommy, this week in crypto, I think if we look at the state of the market, we saw kind of a general correction.
ETH reached all-time highs, though.
Well, ETH reached all-time highs. Bitcoin kind of corrected in a slightly downward, kind of neutral way, and it seems ready to kind of rally again. If you look at the chart, a lot of positive signals and a lot of like long-time hodlers are just like putting their crypto from the exchanges back into their hard wallets, into wallet addresses. And what do we see take the cake? Shiba Inu and Doge Elon Mars, which are two of those very community-focused cryptocurrencies. I mean, with a bit of a sketchy kind of like division in wealth. Let's just call it like that. Like a small amount of people hold a lot of the Shiba Inu bag. Same thing with Dogelon Mars. But besides that, yeah, I think it's. Let's start off with Shiba Inu. Just discussing that, since it was clearly like the main news that we heard this week. Even in mainstream news, BBC, I think, even like had a literal like news article series about Shiba Inu.
Man. Shiba's reached new heights.
And it's crazy to see, but I think it's, on the one hand, there's a lot of hate, justifiably, for Shiba Inu. It's a bit of an obnoxious token. Community is a bit obnoxious, let's not lie. There's like, oh, let's get it to $1, and then the market cap is over like what, like 100 trillion or something. It gets a bit ridiculous with the constant hype you see on Twitter. But this week I actually dug into Shiba Inu, kind of tried to figure out what it is, and let's just say this. I think the idea behind Shiba Inu and the idea behind what Ryoshi, which is kind of the anonymous founder / founding team of Shiba Inu, wrote, was that they wanted to start from nothing and then start a community, but not a pre-existing community, a community that kind of forms naturally around the Shiba Inu token, and then kind of from the ground up builds a community. And via creating this so-called Shiba Inu army, that's like their major insight, is creating the Shiba Inu army. Via this, they want to create kind of an ecosystem, and via this, they want to fully decentralize and fully have their token ran by a community. And I think that is, I don't know, pretty admirable kind of statement to make. And I think that has a very positive connotation that should be awarded to it, especially for a project that comes from the crypto space. Now, of course, if you go on chain, you see a lot of kind of sketchy things. You see like very big bags for like anonymous wallet addresses. And yeah, that doesn't always inspire a lot of, what do you call it?
Or
Trust.
signal decentralization.
Exactly. But
no, I
the
think
idea
that
is good,
founding idea
I
is
think.
awesome. And like, I think a lot of projects, are born from this idea that they just want to have a community, and then like from this community things are built, right? And then I reckon like, how much so has this project been taken from like in terms of legitimacy, just because they have grown this community, by being part of this like meme coin, shit coin, narrative, right? And like
Hmm.
not abusing, that's too hard of a word, using this $1 meme, which is like a prevalent meme amongst like all
Yeah.
these like shit coins, right? They're all trying to get to
Yeah.
$1 because at $1, people who hold Shiba Inu, Doge, all these Safe Moon, they all have millions and millions of tokens because it's a
Yeah.
small cap. I mean, not yeah, it's a shit coin. So it's
Yeah.
at $1, so many people are going to be obnoxiously rich, and then yeah, so that's
Yeah.
obviously why they have this $1 meme. So I hear like different things about Shib. Like I do hear that like yeah, they do have like authentic community. This or I don't know if this is what they shill, right? Because I'm obviously not
Hmm.
ingratiated with the Shib community, but allegedly there is that community that's there. But there's only so much people can get behind a shit token that doesn't have that ecosystem that they're talking about, just has this community that's
Yeah.
using this $1 meme. And you know yeah, it's definitely interesting to watch, but it's clearly like they're where they are because of the people don't know about crypto. They think you can get rich in crypto. This is how people think you can win the lottery in crypto. Buy a million ship tokens, and run with it.
No, exactly. And I think, yeah, of course. I think also the fact that it's like the $1 mark. Oh, ideally it would hit a dollar. It seems very feasible, right?
Yeah,
Like,
what's it
oh,
gonna
it's not that
take?
high of a target. But I think, let's say, let's take this discussion, right, of like a fully decentralized community ran, yeah, kind of product and kind of like idea, and let's broaden that out to the reaction that we've seen this week about the Zuckerberg metaverse, right? Like, you see this, you see the Zuckerberg metaverse. It's like, oh, we have this like interoperable metaverse where everyone can like even, like work out, have social interaction and everything beyond Facebook. But we all own it, and Facebook owns your digital world. And if you compare that to like kind of like the reaction that it got, I think what the world wants is kind of like a metaverse, but then Shiba Inu style, let's say Wolf Paper, Shiba Inu style, fully community ran, kind of just a digital world without
For
an
sure. I
owner,
mean, if you
you
put it
know?
like that, I think most of the crypto community who may not be so into Shiba would jump at Shiba because, like, the reaction you've seen in crypto Twitter and widely is that everyone hates this Facebook meta. Like, you see tweets like
Yeah.
"Rip Metaverse," 2021, because like yeah, people see Facebook as completely destroying this idea of a metaverse. You know, just in true Facebook fashion. Like I feel like people just don't vibe with Facebook anymore, and Facebook's been taking such hits. So for them to like rebrand themselves as Meta, which is probably like a practice in PR, what
Hmm.
yeah, for them to rebrand themselves as Meta and really want to cement themselves as the center of what is a metaverse, and they've invested 10 bill in yeah, into
It's
this
a lot.
idea,
Yeah.
right? Like for them to get such a negative reaction from the community is like it's very telling of what people want from a metaverse or what people think of a metaverse and what people think of traditional web 2 infrastructure companies and this that whole thing, right? So
Yeah.
nobody wants a Facebook meta, quite frankly, because it doesn't reflect anything more than what is Facebook today, right? Facebook today is a
Yeah.
centralized company that has its arms in almost every facet of our lives. In has access to all our data in the just centralized form factor, and that's something that people in crypto blockchain have been moving away from. They want to be pseudo anonymous. They want to be decentralized. They want to be bankless. They want to be all these things that crypto enables, and the Facebook just wants to
Hmm.
transplant what they already have into an enable blockchain, like press enable blockchain, I guess.
Enable
Yeah, yeah.
blockchain
And it's
decentralization,
just
but we
like,
own the blockchain, kind
which
of.
is crazy because in blockchain this blockchain space, I believe, and especially in NFTs specifically, but I think in the wider blockchain space, and loads of people have talked about this, is how blockchain is a trustless, technology. It promotes trustlessness. Yet, for projects to succeed within blockchain, they need a high level of social legitimacy. Whether and that's a
Exactly.
trust, because things are trustless. You need that much more legitimacy to have that trust from the community to use your smart contracts, to use your
Yeah.
service, to do all these things, and legitimacy, whether that's how much you align with their principles or blockchain based principles, all there's so much that goes into it, right? But that's so
Hmm.
important that Facebook misses so much of, right? Because they don't have that social legitimacy
Yeah.
within our space. Like, I mean, how?
I mean, everyone, I think a lot of people just dislike Facebook for the way that they're very like
Yeah.
authoritarian. We control you, we control your privacy, or at least like you don't have privacy because we have access to it. And I think that this is what we're seeing, right? This social legitimacy is like the one thing that a lot of
Mhm.
moving towards like the idea of
Mhm.
like NFT community building
Yeah.
and community building in general. A lot of these places and like projects, they really try to establish this idea of
Hmm.
okay, social equity, community, but like a verifiable community and like a natural
Hmm.
organic community. And that's kind of the thing that Facebook is where the
Right.
misstep seems to be, right? It's like
Hmm.
we own
Yeah.
your world. That's what Facebook is kind
Yeah.
of marketing right now. And yeah, there's interoperability, but we own the
Yeah.
interoperable assets, blah blah blah. Um, what you see with NFT community building is that very much so. This kind of value in the community or value in the
Hmm.
asset isn't inherent, right? It's not. It's not like, for instance, I always parallel it to
Sure.
like diamonds or like
Hmm.
rubies or whatever jewelry. People have kind of over the years said, hey, this has value. This is like a thing that we as a community think is important. And people who wear jewelry are seen as people who, I don't know, like take care of themselves, blah, blah, blah. The same thing is kind of what happens with NFTs, but it needs to be built
Right.
from the ground up. It's not established in society or at all. It's just, oh,
Hmm.
someone with a bored ape is was probably early into kind of
Yeah.
adopting to NFTs, has a lot of like
Yeah.
input into this community. It's like very like into the
Hmm.
crypto
Yeah.
Twitter, all that stuff, you know. And that's kind of what gets built, and that's this legitimacy that we just discussed. And I think that if that would be the part, if we would combine all the facets that we spoke about, so like the natural
Hmm.
organic growth, fully community driven,
Right.
fully community owned platform that has this
Hmm.
interoperability, this metaverse, combined with this like
Right.
grassroots approach of natural, valuation of whatever
Hmm.
asset is traded, blah blah blah. Then you have
Right.
an actual metaverse following Web3 kind of
Hmm.
blockchain
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's
ideals.
just like, what's funny is people always speak about a metaverse, but a lot of people have a hard time defining what it is. And for the most part, people just want
Mm,
it to be whatever it happens to be, right? But
yeah,
just not Facebook. Just next, not Facebook.
just not
And in
Facebook.
terms of on the interoperability aspect of it, Facebook today is very interoperable, but you can figure out the AP, how to connect the two APYs of two things, and Facebook and something else, and then connect your app to Facebook. It's an interoperable service, which has been for a long time. But Facebook's business model of making money just isn't going to mesh well with Web3. It doesn't mesh well with the
Yeah,
principles of Web3. They make money off your data, and the idea that they don't just suck all the data out of the metaverse is is kind of, I doubt it. I doubt it. And a lot
no,
of people
exactly.
also doubt it.
No,
So
exactly.
yeah, because legitimacy is hard earned to begin with. Like Facebook didn't work for, or they don't have any legitimacy in the crypto blockchain space. And they haven't since they announced Libra, that token they wanted to create
No,
earlier. But they don't have this legitimacy. Like, legitimacy is hard built, through the work that you do, through your engagement with the community. It's through the tangible work that you get, for example, in a DAO, right? Like I feel like in that kind of structure, well, it's not a hard structure
Mhm.
anyway, but like in a DAO, loads of people earn their social legitimacy by contributing to the DAO, and for that, in return they
Yeah.
get whether it's a community token or something, or they just get a more significant say. Like if you in because
Yeah.
ultimately, like in decentralized networks, it's all about discourse and how do these autonomous individuals communicate with each other, right? And like what do they then
Mhm.
find consensus on? If you have more
Yeah.
social legitimacy in that setting, what you say obviously has more, there's more emphasis on what you say because you've actually put in work to earn this legitimacy to have that kind of say, you know and if that, which is why
Yeah.
Jack Dorsey, when he does something crypto related, it has legitimacy because he's been talking about Bitcoin forever, and he's implementing things and Bitcoin and blockchain in a way that's in line with at least Bitcoin's principles, right? Because he's a BitMaxi, and at the end of the day, he's still doing Bitcoin things. But you know what I mean? But he's earned that social legitimacy as opposed to Zuckerberg, who I find these two people to be quite comparable. They're both heads of Web 2 companies, and one has clearly earned social legitimacy in crypto blockchain space. One hasn't, and clearly the rollouts of each of their crypto blockchain related things have come across very differently. Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. I
Hmm.
think with that being said, you know, we really see that this social legitimacy kind of comes
Hmm.
from the ground up and not really
Exactly.
from the top down. So yeah, I think that was a good discussion on everything that kind of happened like in this past week. We're gonna do more episodes probably weekly. We'll let you know also via Twitter kind of what the upload schedule will be
Hmm.
and kind of what the time frame will be. Uh, Big update.
Hmm.
We made a Discord. We're gonna be promoting that all the time now, showing you guys like what you can do on it. And yeah, with all that being said, tune in next week earlier than usual for another episode of the Block Exploring podcast. Stay safe and
Take it
tune in
easy.
next time. Peace.